in what ways did Coach Norwood help make the Navy defense what it was last season?
Yeah, Coach Norwood was a great guy. More importantly, I just feel like he cared about us more as people than he did as players. He treated all of us like we were his sons. He was helping us with our spiritual growth and our growth as a man. But from the football aspect of things, I feel like Coach Norwood brought a lot of experience to the staff. I mean, he's been at places like Penn State, Baylor, spent some time at Tulsa, Kansas State. And so he would talk about the different experiences he had going against these big name receivers in the Big 10 or Big 12, whatever it is. And he was able to help put us in the best positions just based off everything that he's seen. And you really can't coach that, that's something that just comes with time. And his expertise was definitely something that we valued a lot. So I feel like that's what he brought most to our defensive staff.
I know that he addressed the team the night before games. What sorts of things did he say, and did you find it inspirational?
So he always focused on the aspect of love and being together. He references this Bible verse a lot that says a three-stranded, I think it's something like that. Hold on. Three-stranded cord is not easily broken. So he always referenced that Bible verse a lot, basically just saying that it'll be adversity in the game tomorrow, but we must stay together. That's the only way that we will be able to get through it. And it was just real inspirational. It definitely got the team going, definitely brought us closer. And that was some of my favorite nights of traveling the Friday night in the hotel, singing the Lean On Me song together. Definitely memories that I'll always cherish.
And then last question, what would you say are the benefits of the defense that you've been running since last season, and how does it kind of deceive and confuse an offense?
It's a lot. It's a lot going on back there, and if you don't know the defense, then you're really confused looking at it. And I feel like in the past we weren't really known for blitzing too much, and then Coach Newberry came in, and I mean we started blitzing every play. And so the quarterback had a lot of pressure on him, so he had to get the ball out quick. The secondary, we played real tight in coverage, so it gave us the opportunity to make a lot of plays on the ball. And so I love it. You never know where the blitz is coming from. It's a lot of disguise, a lot of changing the shells and coverages, playing like two different coverages at once. So it keeps the offense on their toes, keeps the quarterback scanning. One thing I've seen this year, a lot of quarterbacks, they're taking their time with their cadence, so they're trying to sniff out the disguises and whatnot. But it definitely keeps offensive coordinators on their toes trying to figure out what we're doing. It's an exciting defense to play in.
Thank you so much, and good luck this week.
Thank you. No problem.
Bill Wagner.
Good to see you, Cam.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Coach Nehemiah talked at length yesterday during his press conference about being more physical, that this team has to be more physical on both sides of the ball. How do you make that happen by Saturday?
I mean, to be honest, you got to take it personal. You go out there to Colorado and you get beat by 30 points by your rival. You have to take that personal. And I was talking to the team yesterday about that. I don't feel like we've created our own identity yet as a team of 2020. I feel like we've been too focused on the season we had last year, which was a good season, of course, 11-2, or too focused on the season that we had 2 years ago when we went 3-10. We have to create our own identity. We have to step up. Some of the senior leaders, we got to step up. We got to play better. We got to bring the young guys around more, get them some more confidence. But we definitely got to just be more physical. We got to play the Navy brand of football. I feel like we haven't been playing that the first 3 games of the season. But I think we have a great opportunity against a physical Temple team Saturday to create that identity and turn the season around and get going in the right direction.
You wouldn't normally be getting after it ones versus ones live scrimmages during this point in the season, but do you think that's almost necessary? I mean, you guys have to find a way to become more physical, and the only way to do that is to go at it in practice, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, I feel like it's more of a mentality approach to things, I feel like it all starts in the weight room, attacking your reps when you're bench pressing, attacking your reps when you're squatting. And then, of course, when you're doing reps on the field, even if you're striking a dummy, I mean, you got to be physical with a dummy, striking a dummy, shedding it. It's all about intentionality. I mean, ones versus ones, that's good, but at the end of the day, we still got to take care of each other. It's no good if we beat each other up in practice and then we can't play in the game on Saturday. So I feel like our approach to practice, our mentality needs to change. We need to practice with a sense of urgency. We need to practice like we got to take things personal. We have 2 losses, 30-plus points. That's unacceptable. We have to take that personal. We have to say enough is enough, and we have to like. I mean, I don't want to curse anything, but we got to be a-holes at practice. Like we have to get after each other. We got to hold each other accountable. That's the only way we're going to be able to switch that physicality switch.
What did Coach Newberry say to the defense in the wake of what happened on Saturday?
Well, so our effort wasn't bad on Saturday. It was more so missed assignments and things of that nature. So he was just saying we got to trust each other more. We got to make sure we do our job and trust that our brothers are going to do their job. We can't be worried about whether or not somebody else is going to make a play and then we end up in the wrong gap because now the whole play is busted, So we just got to trust each other. We got to do our jobs, and we just got to go out there and play with elite effort and toughness, and it starts in practice. It starts today in practice, getting after it. And I feel like we have a great week of practice. We're going to have a great performance on Saturday. That's the way it should go.
Thank you, Cam.
No problem. Thank you.
Hey, Cam, you touched on this already a little, but what's been the message to the team and the defense from your end as a captain over the past few days?
Like I said, I feel like we have to create our own identity. I feel like right now we're living in between 2 different seasons. We're either chasing this 11-2 season that we had last year, or we feel like, we don't need to go back to that 3-10 season we had 2 years ago. And we got to get away from that. We got to stop talking about both seasons. It's 2020. We got to create our own identity. We lost the Air Force. That's over with. We got to keep going forward. We will still win the conference. We will still beat Army. We can still go to a bowl game. So it's a lot that we have to play for. And it's time to start moving forward. Stop making excuses about what we can do, what we cannot do due to COVID. If we're going to go out there and play on Saturday, the bottom line is we got to go out there and perform. That's the expectations. Nobody feels sorry about that. So just creating our own identity, holding each other accountable, and just getting back to that Navy football standard. And I feel like once we're able to do that, you'll start seeing the result on the field.
You guys don't have to travel this weekend. You're staying home. It's been more than a month since the last home game by the time the game kicks off. Notice a difference just not having to travel and worry about all that extra stuff on top of the game?
I kind of like traveling, get away from the school a little bit after being here so long. But it's definitely good being able to go to your home hotel, playing your home stadium as always. That's a special place for us. We're always going to protect that. And I think Temple, the last 2 times they come in here, they've beaten us. So, like I said, that's another thing we got to take personal. We got to protect our home field. So it's definitely good to be back in Annapolis.
This will be, I believe, the 3rd time this season the opponent you're playing, it's their opening game of the season. What'd you notice being out on the field playing against a team who it's their first game of the season?
It's weird. Of course, they're a little bit fresher. They've had a lot of time to prepare. So, you got to expect them to know what we're going to do sometimes, because they've been watching us. They haven't had to watch anybody else. But like I said, at the end of the day, we got to stop making excuses for it. We got to use it to our advantage that we have played and we have been able to compete. We got to focus on what we can control. We can't control the fact that we're 5-6 weeks in the season. They haven't played a game, because at the end of the day, we're going to be playing Saturday at 6:00. So we just got to come ready to play and ready to compete because I know they'll be ready.
Thank you.
Cam, did you feel that the cadets that attended the game on Saturday made a little bit of a difference for Air Force?
Most definitely. After not playing in front of any fans, it was only 4,000, but it sounded sold out. That's the biggest crowd we played in front of this year. So it was, I like playing in front of them too. I don't feel like it just gave Air Force an advantage. I think it made an exciting environment to just hear people in the crowd yelling. So it definitely, I like having their cadets in the stands.
Well, and then that obviously leads to, do you think it would give you all a big lift if you could have your brigade of midshipmen there at the stadium?
It would definitely be exciting. I would love just to have the opportunity to play in front of some of my classmates. And I know that, I talk to them all the time at school. They are dying to come out to the games, So hopefully we can make something happen. But, if we don't, it is what it is. It's 2020, so you never know what to expect. But I would definitely love to have them out there. I think they could bring some extra energy to the game.
Quick question, if you guys or your teammates have noticed anything from the BYU game, just in terms of the no fans being there, the crowd noise, like any adjustments you're going to make that you think will be better this time around?
I definitely think it all starts on our sideline.
Mhm.
You look at the BYU game, you look at the Air Force game, and you look at our sidelines, it was dead. Then you go look at the Tulane game, and we were keeping everybody's energy up the whole game. That's, to me, honestly, that's the difference right there. If we're able to keep everybody's spirit up on the sideline, we're not letting anybody drop their heads, because adversity is going to happen, but we got to keep everybody together. We weren't together against BYU. We weren't together against the Air Force. So that's going to be something I really take personally as team captain, to make sure everybody stand up on the sideline, make sure you're encouraging each other. Because, I mean, if we don't have anybody in the stands, we have to be those cheerleaders for each other. We played BYU, they were doing all kinds of yelling and screaming. I'm sure you could hear it on ESPN.
Coach Norwood, what do you think they're getting in him, and how big of an imprint do you think he'll have on UCLA's defense?
I think he'll have a big one. You know, I think they're getting a phenomenal human being, first and foremost. You know, I learned a lot from Coach Norwood during his time here, just about life in general. You know, he's a great person, a great leader, and knows how to get the most out of his players. And I think, you know, UCLA was working on implementing some of the things that we were doing. I had a lot of discussions with their defense coordinator during this shelter-in-place time. Some really good stuff, but he'll help facilitate, you know, some of those things, just some of the details and nuances of some of the things that they're doing, I think. But yeah, first and foremost, getting a great human being and a just fantastic coach.
How much you alluded to UCLA doing some of your concepts? How much do you think it will ultimately what you do?
I'm sorry, you cut out on me there.
Oh, no problem. How much do you think the UCLA's defense this season will resemble the Navy defense and what you like to do?
I don't know. I'm not sure exactly. I think the structure will be similar to ours. I know Coach Asanero is a great defensive mind. They're already doing some really, really good things. I think they're looking to merge some of the things that we did last year and had some success with. Ultimately, you know, I don't know how much of it but they'll do. I think it'll be a nice blend of what he's done in the past, combined with some of our things.
How much input did Coach Norwood have on the defense you ran last season, and how did he kind of interact with you and putting heads together to do things?
Just that. I mean, we always put our heads together, and you know, we do that with all our coaches in the defensive staff room. And but it was unique having his experience and his pedigree being in that room. And so we always talk through things. We always try to merge ideas and come up with the best way to do things. And he certainly had a lot of good input for sure.
And last question: what are the benefits, would you say, of the defense that you like to run, and how does it deceive and confuse an offense?
Well, I think the benefits of it are, you know, we want to be unique. We want to be different. We want to be as disruptive as we can. Haven't been doing that this season, obviously, but we want to be hard to prepare for. And our personnel here at the Naval Academy, we're not going to be the biggest, strongest, fastest football team. So anything we can do to give us a little bit of an edge or an advantage, to take some double teams off our guys up front, to put some doubt in offensive line's mind and where they're going, and confuse a quarterback, then we're going to do all those things.
I guess just after reviewing the film of Air Force, what did you see as the issues? Cam Kinley was just on here and says it wasn't effort level, that it was, you know, assignments. Do you agree with that?
I do. Yeah, I thought our effort was really good. I think, you know, you nailed it right on the head. We had 45 or so missed assignments, which is extremely high for us. Disappointing. You know, we obviously got to look at ourselves as coaches to make sure that we're getting our point across, and the guys are clear and understand exactly what they're supposed to be doing. We are still not playing with great pad level. Our fundamentals are still not where they need to be. So what you saw was a combination of those things with missed assignments, and certainly our tackling is not where it should be either. We're behind on those things right now, and you know, we've got to find a way as a staff to help our players get better fast, because you know, what we're putting out on the field right now is is not Navy football and not what my expectations are and not what our players' expectations are. So I'm disappointed. We're going to learn from it, and we're going to put it behind us, which we already have. But we've got to improve on things that we didn't do well, and we got to look at ourselves as a staff here on defense and figure out, what we got to do better and how we can help our players, and our players got to take accountability for some things as well. We're going to keep pushing along, and it's a disappointing loss, obviously, but we're excited about the opportunity coming up this week to play Temple. Looking forward to that challenge.
Obviously, two fullbacks with over 100 yards and the quarterback with almost 100. The fullbacks got it up the gut. The quarterback did his damage on the edge. So it basically means that neither was working well for you all. How much was the inside stuff related to Sia going out early and then losing your two inside linebackers?
Well, I don't want to talk about Air Force a whole lot more, but it did affect us. I mean, obviously, when you go in a game like that, your nose is extremely important. And when the academy teams can get the fullback going, it's going to be a long day. You look at both games we had last year against Air Force and Army, their fullbacks didn't have many yards. I think less than 50 in both those situations. And so even the quarterback run stuff was not on the perimeter. It was ducked up inside the B gaps and the C gaps if you really watch the film. So they whipped us between the tackles. And we don't fit things up correctly. That we got pushed around a little bit, but we had a lot of missed assignments as well. And the combination of those two is not good. And so when you can't stop you got to stop it from the inside out. And the way I've always looked at it, you got to take away the B-back first. And if you can't do that, it's going to be a long day. And it was for us. So we got to do a better job stopping the run.
Do you think that not hitting during training camp could have an impact on injuries? Do you think that maybe you get toughened up physically when you're hitting in training camp and that helps you avoid injury? Or do you think it's just freak incidents?
I think it's probably both, Bill. I mean, we didn't report until near August. Our kids were sheltered in place for a long time, so you're not lifting the weights, you're not eating the same, and doing some of those type things. So I think it's a combination of a lot. I think obviously a couple of things that happened on Saturday they're just football, freak incidents, But we're a little banged up. I think like everybody would be if they played the physical football games that we played, the last week, and that's just part of football. And we got a bunch of tough guys though, and a bunch of resilient guys, and we'll bounce back.
All right, I'll pass it off to someone else now.
Phil Bergman, do you have anything?
Yeah, Coach, looking at the depth chart, West is going to be at that bandit position. Just what can fans know about him?
Really athletic. I mean, it's, athletically, he's very similar to Kevin Brennan. Just doesn't have the experience and hasn't played quite as many snaps. But, I think Mitch gets an opportunity. He's going to do a great job. And I thought he went in, in the Navy game, the Air Force game, and did some really good things. Was very productive, flew around. So he just needs the reps and the confidence that comes with playing. And so I'm excited about Mitch.
And then John Marshall is only a sophomore, but he seems to have at least one big-time hit every single game. What are you seeing from him out there? Are you impressed with his growth so far this season?
I am. John's really smart, plays really, really hard. I think, he's going to improve, exponentially each week. And the more reps he gets, he's just going to keep getting better and better and starting to understand things more. We made that switch 2 weeks before he started at that position, so he's still learning. But he's really, really sharp and still making some mistakes, still doing some things that we got to get corrected, like a lot of our guys are. But I think he's a really good player. I'm excited about him now and his future here.
We just talked to Cam, and he talked about a message that you told the guys heading into Temple this week. What is your message to the team ahead of playing Temple on Saturday?
It really hasn't changed. When you're at a point in the season, you're 1-2, and you lost an emotional game like that to another academy, it hurts, and you're disappointed. And we haven't played well on our side of the football. So the important thing for us is to stay together. We're not going to point fingers. We're not going to sulk. We're going to get back today, and we're going to go to work on Tough Tuesday, and we're going to come out and get better. We still got a lot of football left to play in this season. believe it or not, and I don't think we're far off from being a good unit. I really don't. It's a lot of little things. They've kind of added up and piled up on us, but we can be a lot better, and we will be a lot better. And we just got to keep working. Got to keep working. That's life. There's ups and downs, and you have failures, and either you hide from them or you learn from them, and you move forward. And we're going to learn from them and move forward and get better.
Thank you.
Coach Niumatalolo spoke at length yesterday about physicality and that this is not a very physical football team right now and it needs to become one. How do you make that happen between now and Saturday?
You emphasize in practice. You talk about it. You get after them. We go good on good, which we're going to do today for 10 minutes during practice. And we're going to bang, and we're going to emphasize the fundamentals and the details and the pad level, coming off football, striking with tight hands, thudding guys up on the scout team. We don't go live against the scouts to the ground, but, we're going to do everything we can to simulate, game situations.
With regard to Temple, can you talk a little bit about, they have always been a very physical, they play smash mouth football. They're going to establish the run and then play action. They've been that way for years, no matter who the coach is. They got to talk about the offensive line, and that sophomore tailback is special, I think.
Yeah, he is. He reminds me a lot of the tailback at Tulane. Was such a good player, maybe a little more dynamic. But yeah, they're a blue collar operation, like you said. They always have been. They're a tough, gritty football team. Big physical O-line up front. They're going to run the football, and like you said, they're going to play action off of it. And so you have great eyes, and they're really balanced. And it's going to be a huge challenge for us. Coming off of a very physical football game, with Air Force, but I think our kids are excited about the challenge. I know I am, and we got to come out and we got to get better at the fundamentals and our pad level, and we have to execute, and that's the bottom line. It's not just enough to play with fanatical effort. If you don't execute, right, you're not playing great fundamentals and pad level, you're not tackling well. It doesn't matter how hard you play, and that's to answer Phil's question earlier, again, that was the message to our guys. It's not just about that. That's the first thing we preach around here, but those other things have to be combined with it.
And the quarterback Russo, he's been around a few years. I think he threw for over 2,000 yards last year, and like we said, they're kind of a run-first operation to begin with. So obviously, he's been fairly efficient.
Yeah, efficient's the right word. He's got a big arm. He can make all the throws, and he's an effective quarterback, and big quarterback. Not necessarily a runner, but can run it. Yeah, he's a good player. I think all around, you look across the board, big physical O-line, really good running back, very efficient quarterback, really good at wide out in the slot position and at X receiver. So we presented a lot of challenges this week defending Temple for sure, and they do a nice job schematically with what they do on top of that. So big challenge. Like I said, I'm excited about it. Looking forward to going out there and seeing how much better we can get and getting the taste out of our mouth from this Air Force loss.
So do you feel like the tape from last year shows you enough of their personnel to overcome the fact they haven't played a game this year, or does that once again present a handicap like it did against Air Force?
Yeah, it presents a handicap. There's no question about it. You try to figure out, you look at the roster and the two deep and figure out who's coming back, and they've got a couple of grad transfers, and we've got guys that switch numbers. And when you're watching film, you got to realize that. And people make changes in the off season, schematically, and so I'm sure they're going to have some new wrinkles and some things that they cleaned up from the previous season, just like we try to do on defense. And so we're going to have to do a great job of adjusting to anything new that we see during the course of the game. And but all you have to go off of is last season, and so we'll prepare for that, and we'll chase some ghosts like we always do to be ready for some other things. But yeah, it's a disadvantage for sure.
Coach, obviously the offense, it's been stop-start. The good things we saw in the second half with Tulane were not evident on Saturday. How do you kind of get things back to Navy football?
Just got to go back to work. Say went out there and didn't play well. You guys got to come back and lick your wounds and go to work. And we put it behind us. Focuses on Temple, another really good football team, and we better get right fast. So that's our focus.
When you looked at the inability to establish the fullback, was there anything in particular you saw as to why Jamel and Nelson weren't able to get much yardage up in there?
I mean, it's just you got to get out there. You got to execute. You got to execute. You got to block people. Now they did a pretty good job. You know, they got after us. You know, and give them all the credit. You know, sit here and try to no excuses, man. They got after us, plain and simple.
How would you evaluate Tiger's performance? I know it was not all his fault for sure, but what did you see? Did he do some things right, some things wrong? I mean, first career start.
Like anything else, you know, first career start in a huge game. You know, he did some good things, but some things he definitely did miss. You know, so just got to build on that. Again, he's a competitive kid. He's hard on himself. You know, and again, he's not happy about it. No one is. You know, so but we'll move on from that. Again, there's more football to be played. But again, overall, he did some good things and did some bad things. You know, so what you're kind of expecting the kid's first start in a game of that magnitude.
So how much, in your view, is settling on one quarterback and allowing that person to develop some continuity and chemistry with the offense? How crucial do you think that will be? Because it's obviously quite rare to have 3 different starting quarterbacks in 3 games. Can you talk about that a little, Coach?
Yes, I mean it's nothing that we wanted to happen, but again, circumstances kind of made it that way, and again we put David's situation first and foremost. David's most important deal is his health, you know. So, but again, it's not something that you want to have, but it's a situation that we're dealt. You know, you want to have a solid starter in every single game. You know, hasn't been the case so far, but Dayton is back. You know, he's ready to play. He's excited to play. He's eager to play, and we're going to settle in on him because again, we felt he earned it in the Tulane game. You know, he made a comeback. You know, he had a terrible out in his first game, but he came back and fought through it. He persevered like he has been doing. I think he's earned it. He's earned to be the QB of this team and be the leader of this team. You know, and it's his team, and he has to get us right. You know, so and I got to do a better job of coaching, obviously.
So obviously now the backup quarterback is confusing because Xavier Arline started a game, Tiger Goslin started a game. Messiah Maynard came in there on Saturday, actually did a few good things, moved the team for a little while before he threw the bad pick. Where are you on that?
I mean, I'm not too worried about the backup quarterback. You know, all those guys that have gotten games, they've all played. They're all capable. My main focus is making sure that we have our starter now. You know, and we need to play better. You know, I need to focus on just making sure the offense is ready to play. That we're playing better. Our starters in place, and we got to play better football. Again, the backup quarterback. Again, Tiger's capable. Xavier's capable, and Messiah. You know, so again, Tiger probably has the most experience. You know, Xavier's still struggling a little bit, and again, they'll get the reps. But again, I'm just happy now that Dalen is in place now. You know, and we got to get ready to play, and we got to get right real soon because again, a really good football team's coming here Saturday.
From what I saw Saturday, there just were not many openings in any element of the option, and that comes down to the blocking. You know, how do you get the offensive line coming off the ball? Coach Niemann spoke at length on Monday about physicality and that this is Navy football is about coming off the ball and hitting people in the mouth. How do you get that going?
It's got to go back to work. Starts today in practice. We're going to go out there. And again, I mean, this is something that we all want to get past us. But again, I'm sure it's going to linger around. People still going to ask questions about it. You know, but we're trying to put it behind us. But I do understand that. But we just got to get back to work. Get on the football field, get in the shoots, you know, have some inside peers, go against our defense like we've been doing, and just prepare for the next game. There's nothing much you can do. There's no talking. There's no magic wand. The best way to make all this better is to get ready to go play your next game and go out and win it. And then once you can do that, things will get a little bit better.
I'll pass it off to someone else.
Bill Bergman.
Hey, Coach. I understand you're not disclosing a backup quarterback at this time, but just having 3 guys who have now gotten quarterback or experience in varsity action at the Division I level. What does this do as a coach to know that you have three guys that have had that lick of college football and have played against the big guys?
It definitely helps. But again, we got to play better football. Having the experience of being out there on the football field definitely helps those guys. Like in Dalen's case, obviously the first game wasn't great for him, but he had that experience. And then when he got his next time around, he was out there, he was way more comfortable. Things slowed down for him and he was ready to play. So hopefully, if the time comes again, for Xavier and Tiger, having that experience already being in the game would have helped them as well. So, but first and foremost, I just got to do a better job of coaching them, preparing them, getting ready to play. And we got to go out there on Saturday and play good football.
What do you want to see from this offense on Saturday?
Just come out and play good football. I mean, take care of the football. Don't turn the football over. Up front, come off the football, knock people back, establish a line of scrimmage. Again, get our fullback going, get our perimeter game going. Again, just need to have a good Navy football day like we've always had. We're going to be at home. Should be some excitement for us, and we're all eager to get this taste out of our mouth. So we're going to be anxious to play. Again, you're only as good as your next play, right? 1 week you can be the hero 1 week, and be a goat the next week, or you can be really smart 1 week and you can be a complete moron the next week, So I've been there and done that. So again, just got to go out and get ready to play. Play fast, play physical, take care of the ball, and put some points on the board.
We're over the quarter mark of the season already. What have you seen from the offense so far in 2020?
Again, just very inconsistency, pretty much. Say the first game obviously wasn't great. Then second game, first half wasn't great. Came out in the second half and played well. But again, just not consistent. And again, we got to get over that. Again, you just got to keep playing. You got to keep coming to work. You got to keep strapping it up and go out there and play. So that's all we can do right now. Again, like I said, there's nothing else we can do as far as having somebody come talk to the team or having any kind of this great realization of what's going on. We know what's going on. Just a matter of we got to go out and play better football, and we got to coach better. We got to play better, and we got to put some points on the board. We got to be who we are, take care of the football, eat up the clock like we've always have, and win a football game. That's our next goal.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sheehan, do you have anything? Wags, do you have any follow-up?
Well, I guess just with Dalen, I mean, he does seem very eager, and I know it hurt him not to be able to go out to Air Force, but I mean, I like the way he spoke on Monday that he's got to take charge of this offense, and he needs to make his teammates confident in him. I know you haven't seen him practice yet this week, but you kind of like the resolve he's showing.
Yeah, but that's been him his entire time here, Bill. I mean, last year, he was, might have been the backup, but then he got beat out by a freshman, But again, he didn't complain about it. He didn't sulk. He stayed positive, and just kept grinding and kept pushing himself through. And came back in the fall camp, and again won the job, outright. Obviously the first game didn't go great. He got benched. He kept his mouth shut. He just kept working. Then when his time came again, he showed up. So again, I mean, he's earned respect of his teammates. And again, yes, he wasn't there with us on Saturday, and I know he felt about that. But now it's time to again move on from that, and we got to get ready for this football game and go out and get a W on Saturday.
How important is it to get the perimeter game going? And I know that Tulane and Air Force are both very adept at taking away the slot back pitch, but you can't allow teams to dictate to you, and that's a key element of the option. I think the one run by Chance Warren against Tulane is pretty much the only sizable gain out of the slots. Oh, well, Miles Fells had one in BYU, I believe. But can you just talk about that a little bit, Coach?
Well, to me, really, the perimeter game comes off the inside game. We got to get the fullback going. We got to get our inside run game going. We got to get our physicality, just our power going, our power run game inside. Once you get that going, it will open up everything else. So if you can't run the fullback inside, it's going to be really hard to run the ball on the perimeter. So our main focus, again, like I said, up front, come off the football, establishing a lot of scrimmage. Our runbacks need to be physical. Nelson and Jamel needs to run the football hard between tackles. move the line of scrimmage, you know, and get us some yardage. And again, just kind of pound it in the middle, soften everybody up, and then we can get the ball outside. So for me, the main focus, first and foremost, is being able to run the ball between the tackles. Then everything else will open up off of that.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, my man.
All right, anything else for Coach Jasper?
Real quick, Coach Jasper, it's Sheehan. Can't wait for the
Hello.
game. When we were talking to Cam earlier, he was mentioning how he really felt the sideline was dead during the BYU game, just with energy. What has been, you're down the sideline again for this year. What has your experience been and how, with the offense down there in terms of energy and how to change that?
Well, really, it's well, the way things have been going this year. I mean, being on the sideline, things haven't been going great, you know. So really, as far as not having a crowd, really, I don't even think about that part. I mean, honestly, I block it all out. My main focus is just to make sure that, you know, again, we're putting a good product on the football field. And right now, we're not. So really, you know, with having a crowd there and all that, will it help our guys? Who knows? But we got to bring our own energy. Got to bring our own energy, and get out there and play football. You know, again, being on the sideline for me, definitely, it's great to be there for the QBs to help those guys out and be able to sit down with them face to face. Definitely helps. But again, you know, right now it's just, you know, not a fun time right now because again, we're not playing good football. So we got to just make sure we get things right, get a good product out there where we can move the football, put some points on the board, and again, get back to being Navy football. And that's my main focus right now.